Well, police in cities throughout the United States are cracking down on, of all things, chalk artwork. In July, the Los Angeles Police Department violently retaliated against the Occupy movement in the city when it handed out chalk during an art walk event. The reasoning behind the chalk was previous arrests for chalking public space. However, not all uses of chalk will catch the police's eye. Occupy LA sent out a press release that states that the LAPD has failed to make chalking arrests at other non-Occupy events. That includes an event, the mayor, in which the mayor handed out boxes of yellow chalk to be used on the sidewalks, driveways, and any, quote, blank canvases, including the streets of Sunset Boulevard and traffic at night for a fundraiser that was for Lance Armstrong's art campaign called Hope Rides Again, sponsored by Nike. But despite the dozens of arrests, there has yet to be a charge. Why? Well, most likely because chalking is not illegal. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals wrote that no reasonable person could think that writing with chalk could damage a sidewalk. That was back in 1995, as the blog Firedog Lake pointed out. Still, in last month's Los Angeles event, 17 people were arrested, and it caused quite a bit of chaos. Then last Thursday, occupiers across the country pushed back when Occupy LA declared August 9th Chalkupy the World Day. Police got the memo and responded with arrests in other cities like Austin, Texas. Well, let's go now to a Los Angeles-based Chalkupy artist, Alex Schaefer, for more. Hey there, Alex. Talk about the events you've attended. What has been their purpose?
Well, I really didn't witness what went on at the chalk art walk thing, where it kind of turned into a little mini riot scene. And I know people that were there that saw it. It's a weird situation, branding everybody there to be Occupy. I think it's a little misleading. People that I trust and know and that were there have convinced me that the people that threw the bottle at the cops that really got everything crazy was someone from a bar. So it's kind of a branding problem that Occupy, I think, is in some respect facing. You can just have any idiot just scream Occupy and throw a bottle, and so they kind of lose the message suddenly. It just turns into a crowd control situation.
Well, what are you hearing in terms of the justification that the police are giving for arresting people who are chalking?
Okay, well, like for instance, my situation. And I was moved and motivated to do what I did after what I saw happen at Art Walk. And I went in front of a Chase Bank on a Monday at lunch.
And we're showing your video right now of you right outside of Chase.
Yeah. And so I, had chalk, and I brought a camera crew, a couple guys. I had a mic on the outside. We were being very forward and frontward about it. And on the public sidewalk, I wrote in chalk, crooks, crime, chaos, the Chase Bank logo. And I just persevered until the police came. They kind of went through the chain of command. First it was the building security, and I said no. And then it was the assistant bank manager, and I said no. Then they called the private security purple shirts, and I said no. Or they didn't even speak with me. In fact, I tried to engage them in a conversation at one point, and they have the mirrored sunglasses and no words. And then finally the police came, and I was calmly arrested. And that was the point. It was like a little surgical strike of protest, and it was done right in front of the place that everybody should be protesting.
So what were you charged with?
Vandalism. That was the arrestable offense.
Now, were you using a spray paint?
No, I was using sidewalk chalk, just like you can see right here in the background. And, right here.
So, Alex, if you were a child drawing, hopscotch on the street, would you have also been arrested?
I severely doubt it. I mean, granted, there's probably not going to be a mom who's going to let their kid draw a hopscotch game on the corner of 6th and Figueroa. They're probably going to be doing it in Pershing Square, if, something like that. But it is selective. I mean, it's... I got a quote on my blog right now that says it's attributed to Voltaire, and it says, if you want to know who controls you, figure out who you can't criticize, in a sense. And so I think the closer that Americans get to the truth and to the root of our problems, the more sketched out people get.
Well, are you
know?
suggesting there's a direct connection between, the Los Angeles Police Department and, big banks like Chase?
Well, I think, it's big banks like Chase that are hiring this, well, they're not armed, but they are a private security force. They drive around in Segways, and they have, intercoms, and they are paid for by the businesses there. And it's sort of a strange situation. I mean, I think that when the purple shirts call the cops, then the cops feel like they have to respond.
How do you respond to people, Alex, who ask you, why do you got to use chalk on the sidewalk? Why not, use it on paper in your own home? What do you say to those people?
Well, because it's protest. The thing about protest is you want people to know what you're thinking. And the thing about chalk to me that I find so ideal is that it can happen continuously all the time. I mean, anybody walking from work to Subway for lunch could just be passing a Wells Fargo and go, oh, you know what, screw these guys. And just, it could be spontaneous, continuous. It's not like it's a big, long whoop-de-doo up to a certain, May Day or something, and then everyone has a big thing. I want to see it happening everywhere. I'd like to see every bank waking up every morning having to spray off or sweep off from maybe people the night before who just express their feelings on the pavement. My son is losing their home. My pension fund is near zero. They got to realize, and it's sort of more people can engage in this, even people who are too shy to protest.
Yeah, absolutely. It certainly seems like a peaceful way to protest, and one, again, when you use chalk, it's not permanent, it's temporary and can be washed off. Yeah. Will be interesting to see. This does seem to be a form of protest that is sticking around for a while. Appreciate having you on the show. Artist Alex Schaefer in Los Angeles, California.